Hello, my loves. Thank you so much for being on my channel. Everyone that's here, liking, subscribing, sharing, being part of this conversation, using the tools. There's lots of tools here to use a multidimensional approach to rapidly, radically heal and transform after narcissistic abuse, break trauma cycles, break psychic attacks, come into your true authentic power, truth and sovereignty. And I wanted to hop on because today's the last day you can join Sovereign, right, for this round. And I wanted to explain what I do in that program because we do not talk about narcissists. It's all about you and your sovereignty. So module 1 is a foundation. And in that foundation, you're learning very simple tools to bring your body into regulation, right? So you start actually processing emotions and building energetic capacity in order to do that. Yeah, so it's deeper work, and there's some energetic activations and clearings, which are things you listen to a bit like meditations, but you don't get into a meditative state. You're a bit more active than that because it can be very hard when we've got high levels of PTSD to get into meditative states. The next modules are clearing the fog, coming into what I call self-focusing and self-partnering. So it's about our relationship with ourselves. It's looking at things like your values. It's giving you some introspective work, but very simple concepts, very easy to apply. So you start coming into a very solid, very strong relationship with yourself, right? Sovereignty is all about authentic power. I call it self-focus, which means I'm not obsessing over them. I'm in my own energy. I'm aware of myself. Self-partnering, which is it's like being self-parenting, but it's more than that. It's actually honoring our emotions and letting them be there, and not just letting them be there, which is what some healing modalities teach you, but then using the module 1 work to process them. So we release them and we get automatic about that. Self-sourcing, which is about I'm the creator of my own reality in co-creation with the divine. So I start intentionally creating my life, becoming more conscious and aware of what I'm doing, right? Module 3 is all about deep trauma release, but it doesn't re-traumatize you. My work is so unique. So I don't reconnect you to the energetic charge. In fact, my work radically heals your heart and opens your heart, not reconnecting you to your past pain, but gets to the root and rips it out. It's a bit like energetic surgery. So it deals with grief, it deals with anger, it deals with shame, it deals with all the things that we get trapped in, right? And gives you a heart opening. And that's kind of an awakening really into your truth, into your authentic power, coming into your authentic self. And there's energy work and other trainings to give you the emotional intelligence tools to really start coming out of defense mode, but then go into safety in terms of boundaries, knowing what's going on, coming into your own awareness, breaking out of the confusion, the fog, the brain fog, into nervous system regulation, emotional regulation, and using our mind in the right way, right? Which is to actually consciously create our futures, not keep responding and reacting to our past and getting our, basically it's the stress hormones in the body that are influencing the mind when we're in PTSD and causing the racing thoughts. It's a body response. So I keep teaching you can't solve a physical issue on the level of the mind, and you can't solve, it's what Einstein said, a problem on the same level of thinking that created it. So we can't solve a problem of the body, PTSD, trauma, on the mind, but we do use our mind, right, which I go into. So module 4 is our heart healing. The next module is boundaries, standards and values, right? So but I don't just teach you that as a concept intellectually. We deal with that, so you get very clear on who you are, what you're about, and being in integrity. And then I put the energetics in, so you're energetically strong. I keep saying that if I just speak something to you as a boundary, you won't respect that if I'm not energetically behind it. So I teach you how to come into energetic alignment with your values, standards and boundaries. And the side effect of that is self-love, is self-esteem, is self-respect, is self-trust. Yeah, and the discernment to know who and what to trust, who and what fits into you, where you play, where you don't play, and to feel completely sovereign in your own life. And then module 6, I take you into manifestation, law of attraction work, law of assumption work, how to be an energetic match to what you want in your life. Now, I taught you earlier that people misunderstand law of attraction because it doesn't mean the same energy. That's why empaths attract narcissists, not empaths just with empaths. because the way the actual law of attraction works is compatible energy, right, in our universe. So I teach, it's advanced manifestation skills, but there's no point manifesting or trying, because people say, I just want to manifest my way out of this. You've got to heal first. So everything is so sequential, it's scientific and intentional in how it works. It spiritually moves you through all of your chakra systems, energetic systems as a sequence. It does not matter what day, if you start today and that people started early, there's support in the group, there's surprises there that I give extra support, but I'm not committing to them, because really it's a self-study course that's self-paced with a certain amount of community and support. It's an excellent space, right? For $555, you'll not find anything like that, especially not anything effective that will work for you in the same way. But you do have to invest in yourself, because like when we do that, we say to the universe something and we lose our excuses and we choose our real life. I invested in myself in things that were not as effective as this for what I was dealing with. I invested a lot of money to try and find answers. I'm not saying you have to invest in this course, but if you want to be in this course and you're not investing, then whatever excuse you've got is your normal excuse for your life. We have to radically change our priorities. When I found the strength to do things that I didn't think I could do and I didn't have resources, I was in heavy poverty for a long time, but I just prioritized differently and went for something different. I became a different energetic match in the universe. An energetic match, I had 28,000 for a whole year at one point. I put 20,000 into coaching. That's how serious it was. And I stayed living in a trailer. But what I did in the universe was I said something different. It was like, you know, I'm worth it. There was something in it. There was some power in it. I was the poorest person in that group, in that training room that I did, because it wasn't about PTSD or trauma. It was about self-development. And I didn't share that. But what I also realized was I was not the most, but I was a very powerful one, because where other people were talking about this 20,000, they had a lot more money than me and a lot more security than I did over their heads. I didn't. At the same time, I realized the power I had in doing that, in choosing myself. I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm not saying you have to join Sovereign, but there is a thing when you invest in yourself and you prioritize that differently. And there is a thing where you stop. You have to decide you change your life. This is a very accessible, affordable program. There's no, I mean, people charge tens of thousands for similar work. And you might not believe that, but trust me, you might just have only seen people who are doing, I don't know, not as powerful healing work. I don't know what you'd compare it to, because I work with the highest level of personal development and coaches and trainers in the world, and their programs cost, well, minimum 5,000 plus up to like 200 grand. So, you know, they're the people I'm working and learning from. So to do this for 555, to me, I'm proud of it. I'm not saying that there's some people that cannot access that, but when you want to find a way, you find a way, and when you want to find an excuse, you find an excuse. And my biggest change that actually came wasn't when my body healed, wasn't when I got out of the trailer. I stayed in that trailer for 2 years so I could invest in myself. And if I'd have had this, my God, I would have healed so much faster. It came when I decided to reprioritize. It came when I stopped complaining. It came when I had to accept where I was, which was chronically ill, in terrible PTSD, in physical degeneration, in emotional racing thoughts, and I had to radically choose myself there, right? Not affording groceries, not knowing if I could pay my rent. That's how bad it was. Feeling like I went into a room where everyone was so much richer than me at that time. I'd been successful, but now I was absolutely broke. Feeling like my circumstances were so different to theirs. In Sovereign, everyone's circumstances are like yours. They've all been through narcissistic abuse, right? We're trying to connect with each other there and do life-changing work. So I'm not saying you have to, but if you want to and you're called to it, this is the final call for it. And there would be no point me offering this for free, because if you don't have to find some power in your investment, then you're not going to find the power to be disciplined enough to just put the small things in that I ask you to do in there. There is such a small amount of work, because I know you're overloaded, I know you're stressed, I know you haven't got a lot of capacity physically, energetically or emotionally often when you're after narcissistic abuse. So like your job for now is to find the power to think differently, do something differently and radically change. If all you can do for now is invest in your time watching my videos, they will change your life and radically shift your consciousness. And when you're ready for the next step, you'll find the resources to do it. But as I say, it's not always available, because I give it an awful lot of attention when I'm launching these things, and I don't think it would be effective at the moment if I just put it as self-study, so I'm not willing to do that. I like to support the group very much so. All right, my loves, any questions, let me know. Go to my website and join today if you want to come in, because as I say, I will shut the doors and you won't be able to join until the next round, and you don't, you know, that will be disappointing if you wish you'd come in. All right, my loves, lots of love. I'll speak to you soon.